What's up everybody, Prof Smoke here. Let's get into this project. The first thing I'm going to tackle is the bricks. Now I'm going to make the bricks out of polymer clay Super Sculpting Original. Once we get it into the shape and bake it, it's nice and hard, and then we can lay it down with Elmer's glue wall. That'll get it really secure to the board, and once we have it secure on the board, we can sand it down with just an electric sander. Now I'm painting it with a mixture of Mod Podge and black paint. That'll seal it as well as give a nice layer for our paint to adhere to. Now we're going to paint from dark to light colors and let the previous layers kind of shine through. So we don't want to cover up the previous layer, we just want to add a little bit to the texture. And the texture does almost all of the work here, as you'll see in a second. Now that we've got the bricks out of the way, we're going to move on to the mountains and the stones that cascade the Rock Pokespot. I'm stacking up layers of Foamular 350 insulation foam and gluing it together with Elmer's glue wall. And once that's hardened, we can carve into it with a blade and pretty much carve it into any shape we want. Stone is best carved mostly vertically because that's the direction that stone is worn, and so I'm making a bunch of small vertical slices to give it a really nice texture. And by cutting in small slices, we also get just a really nice shape with a lot of planes and a lot of unique texture to it. So that's exactly what we want for this project. Now I'm using texture paste on the entire thing. This will help hide the seams between the layers of the foam, give us a nice texture, help the whole thing just be a little more structurally strong and all that good stuff. Now I'm just doing all the same steps on smaller rocks, so gluing it together, texture paste, and now we're going to use our mixture of black paint and Mod Podge. I probably used about 4 or 5 layers of this. This really helps make everything just a little stronger too. You know, it sticks everything together and makes it one solid piece, and just adds a little protection to it as well. It's always good to plan out where everything's gonna go. Now we're gonna paint from dark to light colors, doing the same thing, not covering up our previous colors. And once we get far enough in, we're gonna start adding white and then yellow over top most of the white. That's gonna give us a really good lighting effect. Now I'm using Gorilla Glue construction adhesive. It's a heavy duty construction adhesive, and it'll permanently put our rocks down into place, so we need to be very careful to place these where we want. I did a little bit of gold paint on the rocks and on the bricks there just to kind of tie it together, and now we're going to get into adding our sand. This sand is actually tile grout, and tile grout hardens and activates when you spray it with water mixed with isopropyl alcohol, but I'm also using some glue as an extra means of control. To have a nice windswept look, I'm blowing some of the sand off of the top of all the stones and then spraying it with some isopropyl alcohol. And then we're scrubbing away the sand on top of the brick, which also scrubs away some of the paint. So we'll just touch up the paint real quick with gold and then white on top of that. Now we're ready to sculpt the shiny Trapinch. In Pokemon Colosseum and XD, the shinies are a little bit different colored, so this is more of a dark green Trapinch versus the normal Trapinch, which is more of a blue. Speed's been hunting this Pokemon for a long time at the Rock Pokespot, so it only makes sense that it's the centerpiece of our sculpture. Now I'm using some floral wire to act as an armature for this sculpture, putting the hands on and the feet on, and then using the floral wire to support the jaws and getting those on. Once we bake that, then I can carve into it with my Dremel tool to give it nice sharp teeth, and then get it ready for painting. Now I'm covering it in that same mixture of black paint mixed with Mod Podge, and then we just paint it from dark to light like before. Then the final layer I add is dark green on the bottom to have a nice gradient from light to dark on the actual color of the trappage. Later, when we add the glossy UV resin, this is gonna really look nice and it'll just blend all that together. Doing some final details here, and now painting it with the UV resin and locking that in with the UV light. Now we're ready to bake this cake. The Pokey Snack looks delicious. It kinda, to me, looks like a graham crackery cake, vanilla-y, graham crackery. So I took that into consideration when I made this. The tray I made out of a coin. I just grinded it down with my Dremel tool. And now we're ready to make the cake. The main details of the cake are just the slices, so I make sure to do straight lines and get those nice creases in the side of it so it looks like it's an actually cut cake. And then we just poke some holes in the top of it, just how they are in the game. Now I'm just painting it like graham crackery colors. We add this dark paint to fill in the holes so that inside of the holes we have a little bit of that like dark color, but mainly we're just painting it graham crackery. You'll see in a minute how nice and graham crackery it looks once it's done. And on the inside of this cake there's 2 layers of like a frosting-y white, like these stripes. And so those were pretty challenging to paint at the angle, and especially because if I messed it up, it would have been really hard to like paint over this and then, you know, retry it. So I'm really glad that this turned out, you know, so nice and such straight lines. Here it is, the trappage and our cake, our Poke Snack. Now all we need to do is glue down the Poke Snack tray and the sculpture's done. I'm using some E6000 on our coin, and I put a little washer on the bottom of it as well, and it's done. Ready for the glamour shots of the Rock Pokespot. Looks so friggin' nice. I'm so happy with how this turned out. I'm crying a single tear right now.
What's up guys, SpeechWizard96 here. So this is the final product of the Rock Pokespot I commissioned from Smoke. He did an absolutely amazing job getting this done and beat all the expectations I had. It was really nice working with him and he really did put a lot of effort into it. So once again, thank you very much for this unique piece of art.
Thank you so much for staying to the end of the video. I wanted to take this opportunity to ask you guys to subscribe to my channel if you think you'll enjoy my content. And if you do enjoy my content, there's a link to my sky pillar sculpture in the top left corner, or my Pokespot theme song guitar cover beneath that. Please check those out. It would help the channel out. Please like, subscribe, comment with any sculptures you would like me to make. I also wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you so much, SpeedTwister96. Thank you to Surreal Ian, who does my logo and my intro animation and these background animations. You guys are friggin' awesome, and thank you to everyone else too for watching and just being part of the community. You guys have made this possible. I started making this sculpture in October of last year. It has been like 7 months, and it's just been a friggin' roller coaster, but finally I finished it. It got to Speed Twister safe and sound, and it's done. So thank you guys, and I hope that you have a beautiful, beautiful day.